one topic of great interest, and it has been so for many years now, is about self-help, and in particularly the area on how to attract to us what we desire. Positive affirmations, positive thinking, and of course, as most of you well know, the theory is that if you use positive affirmations, positive thinking, you're going to attract positive things to you. And for some, it goes even as far as saying that, if you really think with great concentration and very clearly exactly what it is that you want, the perfect partner, how she's going to look, how she's going to feel, and so forth, you will attract it to you. If you wish for wealth, you will attract that to you by positive affirmations, by putting little notes on the wall, the universe loves me and it's giving me whatever I want, or writing things before going to bed, and so forth. Some people swear by it, but I have to say that also many people I talk to, they are saying, well, it hasn't worked for us, and in some cases, although we did it for quite a long time with a lot of devotion and sincerity, it seems that it is attracting the opposite. Instead of abundance, it's bringing scarcity. We're not finding the partner of our dreams, or we're finding partners that really don't go along with us, that we don't really feel at ease with. How come? So this chat really is not so much to talk to the people for whom it has worked and it is working. Good luck to them, and I'm very pleased for that. But it is to look at why in so many instances it doesn't work, and it doesn't work for so many people. And let's look at a couple of fundamental points. Most of us are well acquainted with the fact that what the plane from which we come, from which we work, from which we act, the conscious mind, it's only about 5 to 10% of our awakened state. 90% really of what prompts us to act or what dictates our feelings and actions come from our unconscious, from our past. So how does this reflect on this theory that with my conscious mind, my conscious thinking, just by affirming things, I can change my subconscious and I can attract whatever I want to myself? Now let's look at a case of some people, and this is what I have observed, that if these people have had, for example, problems in their childhood, like with the issue of nurturing, feeling a bit unloved, feeling uncared, feeling of not receiving enough TLC, tender loving care, very often that feeling is buried deep within themselves, or I could say deep within us, because we all have some reflections of that particular lack in our childhood. So this sense of unworthiness, this sense of not being loved, not being cared for, is quite strong. Not in a conscious level, consciously we might not even be aware, but there is an underlying wave which rules so much of our lives. So what happens when we start saying, I am loved, I attract the love I want, I attract money, I attract all these beautiful things that I desire? What happens very often is that the subconscious almost kicks back. By entering in conflict with that part of the unconscious that says, no, you don't, you're not worth it, you're not this, you're not that, and it's not just a voice, it's not an intellectual thing, it is not a thought, it is a feeling, which is a very important difference. So that feeling is saying no. I don't feel that I can have this abundance in my life. I don't think I can have this love. And by saying I can have these things with our positive, we strengthen its opposite, the negative. So what in reality is happening, that although our superficial mind, the 5% of our mind, is making a resolve, the 95% of the reality of our being is answering in a different way. Now, that is one important fact to look at. And along with it, there is another very important fact. Now, if there is this lack, this sense of unworthiness within us, it is normal that we will not be very capable to really manifest love and abundance in our daily actions, in our life. We'll be a bit tight, mean, uncaring, lacking empathy, because we cannot give ourselves that love, so we cannot really share it. So I am going to mention now a verse from the Gospels. I am more of a Unitarian, a Universalist in my outlook of life, so I don't follow a particular religion as such. But these days I'm very drawn to the sayings and phrases of the Gospels, because I think even in a humane way they can be very beautiful. And one of my favorite verses is, "Seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and all other things will be added onto it." And what does this phrase really mean to me is that don't worry so much about the things that can be added, a partner, money, health, the home of my dreams, the job of my dreams, etc. But let's begin to look at ourselves and start creating an energy which is an energy of love and abundance. And I mean that at a unconditional level. What do I mean by unconditional? Unconditional doesn't mean, oh, I'm just giving, take, no matter what I receive. By unconditional, it means is that it's not conditioned by a particular form. A sense of loving that doesn't come because I love this person, or a sense of abundance that comes because I have a lot of money, but a sense of loving and a sense of abundance that comes from the kingdom of heaven. It means from the love and abundance in our heart. So very often we say, oh, I want to attract love, which to me can mean a perfect partner. But then we lack tender loving care towards people around us, towards our pet, towards our friend, towards our relative. We tied with our feelings. We jealous, we're a bit conceited, and we don't wish their well-being, but we enjoy the suffering of others and so forth. And then we wish for love. And if we do attract things, what happens? We are not attracting from the affirmation that, oh, I want perfect love. We are attracting from the wavelength, from the energy which we have in our being, which is quite a contracted, quite a tight type of energy. If we say, oh, I want abundance, but then again, we are mean, we are miser, we don't have a sense of sharing, of contributing not just to our lives, but to other people's life, it'll be very difficult, to attract an abundance which is really nurturing. Yes, through strife, through walking over other people's head, you might attract some abundance, but it's not a type of abundance and wealth that will give you ultimately a sense of well-being and happiness. So when we say let's seek the kingdom, then let's seek an energy wavelength which is more open, which is more giving, which has got more care in it, in the way in which we touch, in which we relate, in the empathy that we have towards other people. So let's begin to look a little bit what is in our heart, in our psyches, that do not reflect a sense of love and abundance. And you can have love and abundance just if you are by yourself, and if you are also, as sometimes it can happen, in a restricted financial situation. Okay? Because you can have abundance also with the very little things of life. And in the next video, I'm going to tell you a very beautiful story, you know, how sometime when traveling in India, I was fed by a beggar. And he was the most generous person that I've ever met. And I was so pleased when then I did have, you know, some money at a later stage to return that present many times over. So let's seek the kingdom of heaven. Let's create more abundance and love within ourselves. And then without concentrating too much, oh, I want exactly this or I want exactly that, let's see, you know, how slowly life responds to us. We have been told that we are energy, that energy has got waves, that waves travel, that waves bounce back. So it is not too ambitious, maybe to hope that, you know, something can return. On the other hand, though, I also have to stress that be careful about expectations. I like the concept of the Vedic philosophy of karma yoga, do things without an immediate expectation of returns. And what that means is not doing things and not to expect that you'll have some reward as such, but when you are truly giving, then give. You know, when you are emanating tender loving care, really emanate it and share it. And don't expect tomorrow, where is it coming? Because then it stops being unconditional. You know, so what it is, as you keep on opening, as you keep on giving, the first reward is not so much what comes from outside, but is the changes that start happening within you. And then let time take its course. And when things will be added into your inner kingdom, it will be sometimes at the most unexpected moments, as I can really witness for myself, and even more, I will say, in the most unexpected ways. Not exactly what I was asking for, not exactly what I was asking for or expecting, but really looking at it even much better, you know. So it was worth it, relaxing, accepting what I was going through, feeling within my heart that no matter what hits me, I will still keep the love, the appreciation, and the openness towards life flowing. Because one of the biggest secrets to create the kingdom within you is when you are restricted to still keep a certain openness, a certain love flowing. And do not bring positive thoughts sometime from the state of restriction, because what you risk sometime is to recreate over and over and over again that restriction. You are feeling really restricted and you say to yourself, oh, I want wealth, I want money, I want abundance. Oh my God, I'm so desperate. I want a partner, I want a partner. So I'm going to write all over the place little tickets, you know, saying, I want a partner, I want a partner. But at the end, what you are really emitting is not self-love and love towards life, but what you are emitting is, oh, I'm so restricted, I'm so lonely, I'm so sad, I can't live with myself. So what ultimately you create outside is that sense of restriction and loneliness within you. So kingdom of heaven and abundance also means when you are lonely, don't seek for something to fill that emptiness from outside. When you are lonely, start nurturing yourself. Discover that life has so many things to offer that you can do right now. Appreciation. Discover appreciation. A long walk in a park, contemplating and appreciating the flowers, and so many other things. You can go to talks, you can go to meetings, you can go to self-improvement courses, you can go and do meditation, watch a great movie, read a good book, you know. So fill that emptiness with yourself and with your own self, with your own positive actions, and then you are beginning to create the kingdom. You know, sometime when you feel misunderstood, and maybe often that is not the case, it's something that we just project. Let's for a moment just think, okay, maybe I'm not being that well understood, I'll explain myself better, but above that, I will even try to be myself more understanding, you see? So when you start giving a little bit without constriction, without expecting, yet again, you are entering the kingdom. And when you create from the kingdom, then the resonance of that energy, of those actions, can be very different indeed. And as I said, when things are added into the kingdom, they can come in very unexpected ways, not being exactly what you were expecting, but you will know that they're coming from the kingdom, and you will surely welcome them, whether they are an external object or whether they are even just a beautiful feeling within yourself, or the look in the eyes of your kids or your cats, whatever. So I'll finish this talk again with this simple reminder: seek ye the kingdom of heaven, and let all other things be added on to it.